campaign winds down with strong party backing, lighting up rural Rigo communities, and first virtual award ceremony hosted.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Sunday's news. Leader of Pangu Party and Prime Minister James Marape has again expressed confidence in the leadership of Moresby Northwest candidate Lohia Boy Samuel. Campaigning at Morata 1, Marape said the electorate can change and see improvement in service delivery if people vote the right candidate. This is the second rally where the Prime Minister has shown Pangu's backing for the Box 22 candidate.
Yes, the Prime Minister turned up again, this time at Morata 1 community to back the Motu Koita candidate. A rousing welcome was given by the locals. For Lawyer Boy Samuel, Morata is not a new campaign territory. He has got the attention of voters in his previous attempts.
Box number 22! Yes, that's where we're going, box number 22. So, the pain, Filipino, Elevara, Anubara, same as Morata. We will feel the same pain.
This is the second rally by the Moresby Northwest candidate where leading government Pangu Party is backing. He says voting the right candidate with people leadership traits will have an impact. The Pangu leader expressed confidence in his candidate.
But you said you start finish on that boy somewhere. You're cooking and looking for number one, that's all. I said for 2 or 3, sir. You not give him 2 or 3. Everybody vote for waste. So you send him a brother here, and only number 2. You send him on, I give him number 2, the number 3, Lamusa, you fill him, and can best represent you.
The campaign rally saw 3 other intending candidates given ample time to say something. But for Lawyer Boy Samuel, the electorate needed change and someone has to lead. He says his priorities remain with the youth and women groups.
So all the youth get together in order to street what we can identify by writing down. If the road is broken, we will fix it. If the is falling down, we will fix it. So these are the youth programs we will roll out for the mamas. Same, huh?
For the Prime Minister and leader of Pangu Party, he appealed to the people to vote wisely and elect leaders who can bring change and improve life.
If I give him vote, number 1 goes on it, number 2 goes on it, number 3 goes on it. Because number 2 and number 3 too. People are looking at. You want the Martin Pearson and number 2 you give me, but we're looking at. You want the Walter Yamaman and number 2 you give me. And boy, we don't have the money and this up here.
Jack Power Jr., National EMTV News.
While the Prime Minister rallied behind Motu and candidate Lohia Boy Samuel, his deputy was with the ULP candidate Joe Tonde. Sam Basil and leader of the United Labour Party appealed to voters in Hanuabada village to elect wisely. The intending candidate also spoke highly of the confidence of voters in the Motuan village shown in the 2017 national elections.
As days wind down to voting day, campaigning is heading into its last days. Under the cover of dark, Moresby Northwest intending candidate Joe Tonde was backed by United Labour Party leader and Deputy Prime Minister Sam Basil. For ULP, Tonde has been critically chosen by the second majority coalition of the ruling government.
Tonde can manage Moresby Northwest. That's why we play Makimem. Now, not only that, with what is done, and we can make him plan the work finish. Now, I'll talk Tonde make him now. All Arab speaker only make him finish. Tonde did a lot. That is why I am not ashamed to come here as a party leader to promote him in front of you, because suppose Tonde no make him display, me ba refuse to come to display place.
Speaking on policy traits, the ULP leader says Tonde will utilize for change. Basil says Tonde has proven with his community work and shares no difference if elected to take up the role as a member, something ULP rallied behind the Box 30 candidate for the Moresby Northwest seat.
Me like talk clear, you play a man, stop long way, house, you play me stop. Suppose you got candidate blow you, give me play 2 or 3. But those of you is that you look him tonde, and me make him save his penis, and me no member yet, then me make him, we deserve you one. Because you must trust that he can deliver.
For Tonde, he is confident backing will come from this area. He says his concern is for change in the electorate.
Me got plenty vote stop here, but me no come campaign. Upset too, me no campaign too. Me no got house sell too. But thank God that me got him big plus support blow me last election and still stop yet.
Suli, National EMTV News.
The people of Hula and neighboring villages in the Hood Point area and Rigo district will now have access to electricity by the end of this year. This follows the rollout of a rural electrification project in the area. The electricity project starts from Galamarubu village to Hula and covers 15 villages along the highway. The project is in its second phase, with the third phase expected to start next month and is scheduled to end by October. The third phase will see houses being connected to the electricity grid. Rigo MP Lekwa Gura has challenged locals to have the house wired at their own cost so that electricity can be connected to their houses.
On-grid electrification project, and now they call it Hula Electrification Program, or HEP. Yeah, so that's the extension of the grid from Galamarubu to Hula, covering the 15 villages in the Bigul Bay and Hood Point area. So that's what this rural electrification is all about. Phase 1 started in October last year. Phase 1 being the main line from Galamarubu to Hula, following the main road. So that was started in October last year and finished in January this year. And Phase 2 is now coming to an end, where the T of lines are pulled to the villages of the main grid. So we are the last two villages, Babaka and Hula, which is happening right now as we are speaking. Yeah. So and then the Phase 3 will start next month in June. For the Bigul Bay villages, Phase 3 will begin in June and finish in September. And they already have a contract secured for that.
As the leading superannuation provider in the country and as part of its member engagement, the National Superannuation Fund, NASFund, hosted the Know Your Super information session with the Young Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce and Industry recently. According to the NASFund Chief Officer Member Services Ann Wilson, the partnership is the first for this year and is the first non-government organisation to be a beneficiary of this exercise. During the session, the members of Young POM CCI were provided an overview of NASFund and an insight into the fund's products and services. The session was hosted through Zoom and went live on Facebook last Wednesday. Rigo MP Lekwa Gura has highlighted the need for the government to address climate change issues in the country. With most parts of his district located along the coast, the local MP says they have seen first-hand evidence of climate change, and these include erosion and rising sea levels as a result of global warming. The local MP says a proposal has been issued to Climate Change Development Authority, however, not much has been done.
But one area that is of great interest to maybe all of us should be this climate change and disaster reduction. It's an issue that I think we pay very little attention to. Many communities are very vulnerable to this climate change, the effects of climate change. The coastlines are being eroded, and communities, if we don't do anything, they might get washed away, you know. And even along the Irupara to Hula coast, there's evidence of that. So right in the beginning, in August 2017, that was one of the first things that we did. And they walked the whole coastline from Irupara all the way to Hood Point, taking pictures. And then we developed a concept which we submitted to CCDA. And to this day, we have not received any response. I even went as far as talking to UNDP about this issue. So many coastal areas, they're very vulnerable as a result of this climate change and or the effects of climate change.
National EMTV News continues with more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Cocoa Price Support Program has seen an unprecedented interest in cocoa farming right across cocoa growing provinces. It is a family affair drawing many families back to the cocoa gardens. In this week's A Closer Look, we'll look at the government price support and agriculture invention program for cocoa and how PNG Cocoa Board is driving the agenda and growing the industry.
Mi can talk sem sampla mama almost a clean garden na kaino sem but time bisla price support kam and bring one la kaino mas kam lo mama street.
Me recommend him government lo Marape Basil for the program that all come up in Longan. Me talk thank you, and we are blessed that we have been chosen to be part of the program.
Yeah, last time me buy him lo this time lo 140 lo kilo. I'm talking money me sarim kam but you start buy him lo 3 kina kilo.
O sem puti moni kami ser lo play support na now mi play sensi min ser lo community area now tirigina so making planting money or interest lo planning kakao olu go back clearing garden lo ke now they come ligrik back oxy big plamoni.
We are here at one of the cocoa fermentaries in Timini Bulolo district run by Joshua Pasan. His fermentary has been selected by the PNG Cocoa Board to roll out the government's price support program. He's now buying a kilo of wet beans for Trikina. Donna Gideon is one of the villagers here and she has had little interest in cocoa until now. Donna, why na you being at little interest lo cocoa enough now?
Yes, before me plan no interest because price to cacao low now. Cacao me planning but me plan no interest. Now government bring him la service cam now. Price to cacao go on tap trikina now. Oh, me plan big plan interest because lily cacao me plan me plan big plan money.
The Price Support and Agriculture Intervention Program is an initiative by the Marape government to see farmers get the reward they deserve for maintaining their cocoa gardens. Agriculture Minister John Simon is driving the program to ensure commodity farmers are not cheated for their hard work.
It's not price stabilization. What the government is doing is price support to support the local farmers, the farmers in the village. The exporters, fine. The processors, you're okay. The permanently owners, don't worry. We're talking about the farmers that will actually produce the cocoa and coffee.
50 million kina was released last year by the national government for this program. 10 million kina for cocoa. The PNG Cocoa Board is spearheading the price support and agriculture intervention program for cocoa. PNG cocoa is ranked among the world's best, but production is low. Among many other factors affecting farmer interest, the price is one of them. Wet bean buyers buy cacao for 1 kina 50 to 2 kina per kilo. The government intervention increased the price to 3 kina per kilo.
Community all get a fermentary owners also buy 1 kina 20, 30, 1 kina 50, 1 kina 70 between 2 kina na go round. You know go beyond 2 kina. I'm also buying wet bean on this mark. Now, all get a cocoa farmers also give some money all get a time. And just recently last weekend, all farmers, cocoa farmers, wet bean sellers, all experiencing new price where ever since all planting cacao. So that time people buy them. Government support price and come or give me lower cooperative 20,000. Okay, lower cooperative society and we get along 10 big village.
Cocoa or cacao originates in the Amazon region of South America. It best grows under huge shady trees and in deep fertile soil. Cocoa was first brought to PNG from Samoa sometimes in the 1900s. This was the species Trinitario. With best climatic conditions in PNG, the Trinitario species flourished, giving PNG a reputation for producing fine flavored cocoa beans. In the 1960s, the species Amazonian was introduced from Trinidad. Both species were crossed and produced hybrids and even better flavor. Fermented and dry cocoa beans are roasted and grinded to make chocolate. With an increased demand for chocolate today, growing cocoa can be a lucrative business. The cocoa industry in Papua New Guinea is currently valued at 350 million kina per annum. It has a potential of around 1.2 billion kina.
If by end of the year, we increase to more than 500,000 farmers, or even 1 million farmers actually doing cocoa and selling cocoa and exporting cocoa. That's 300,000 tons. And 300,000 tons, that's 2.4 billion kina at 500 kina. That's going to go lo pocket lo man meri lo place. And imagine the economy.
As a country, the price support has really been implemented in all the producing provinces. I'm happy to say that about 110 buying points in all the districts are involved now. That's including Millen Bay, to South Bougainville, to Aitape, and to Karamui in Chimbu. So we have the whole country covered.
Boto Gaupu is the CEO of PNG Cocoa Board. Under his guidance, the PNG Cocoa Board has flourished over the last 5 years with a lot of farmer intervention programs and agreements with government and private sectors such as Wafi Gaupu.
Mi sign of the extension was la MOA. Lo go work one time online lo Labuta, lo Buang, lo line lo Salamoa too. Lo assist one time mo Cacao. So what I'm happy with people like work one time cocoa board na cacao.
Intervention programs include advice and assistance on how to produce quality cocoa, setting up seedling nurseries, among many others. While cocoa farmers praise the government for the 3 kina per kilo of wet beans, there are some genuine concerns with some fermentary owners missing out on the program, concerned they will go out of business, with farmers leaving them for better pricing, with some suggesting subsidizing the price of dry bean bags and putting in place policies that all fermentary owners buy wet beans for 3 kina. In this way, fermentary owners do not miss out.
I must support him all cooperative society. Because cooperative society, they are nearest people want them, all farmers. The better all farmers and cooperative society are carry want them. Experience them now, government pay, government give 20,000. I'm short. So, lo cover up on this la, money pro government, kisim newspaper pro government na, satisfy him this man of place. I'm cooperative society, di kilo cover up on this la. So, advice me some government must support him cooperative society. And way forward long, promoting na, motivating more farmers no, work strong lo, agriculture sector.
Also, the sustainability of the program. Agriculture Minister explains that the idea to increase the price of not only cocoa but other commodities is to increase quantity and create a rippling effect with other wet bean buyers. When the quantity is increased, the fermentary owner has more bags of dry cocoa to sell to the exporter.
We want to support them, then they produce more, and the exporter you buy more and you export more. So your volume increases and you make more money.
The minister has also openly accused exporters of cheating farmers. He is vocal about district development authorities creating business arms that export cocoa. South Bougainville DDA has just done that, launching its company Busiba and obtaining an export license. The company will be buying a bag of dry beans for 500 kina, about 50 kina more than the private exporter.
We're not saying no to those that are involved in the industry. The cocoa exporters, the coffee exporters, whoever's doing export and buying and processing in this country, that's good. That's good. But it's good the private sector's involved, but we also need to protect our farmers. We need to make sure that they're getting the right value for money. The value for money on the sweat that they put in.
Minister John Simon has admitted the challenges involved with the price support, but also vowed to address them, calling on the national government to put more funds into this program that is directly benefiting hundreds of families involved in the rural economy.
I only put 10 million kina to support cocoa. And look at the amount of job we've done, as if we're using 100 million kina. And Cocoa Board has done price support in mostly all the provinces. But not everyone we are rolling it out with, but at least in every provinces, there's one or two permit owners and buyers already practicing that. And we will slowly roll it out. We need more money. And I expect the government to find some money and continue to support the price support program so we can continue to roll out.
Another huge support to the cocoa industry is the increase in export levy recently imposed by the government. CEO of PNG Cocoa Board, Mr. Gaupu, said because of this government intervention, the PNG Cocoa Board is able to send extension officers throughout PNG to assist farmers.
The 40 kina levy had been there more than 20, 30 years ago, I think. It's the first time Cocoa Board decided to increase the price to 100 kina. 100 kina per kilo levy is just about 10 toya per kilo. What is 10 toya compared to now the national government is putting it in intervention in price support, we're saying between 50 toya to 1 kina. I mean, we're putting more back. And we're not expecting people to talk about little things like this, talk about better things.
How do you expect the industry to provide that service to the growers? And these levies are generated mainly to plow it back or reinvest into the aspects of research and extension.
The price support program, the extension works and freight subsidy for rural farmers is seeing growth in the industry.
But from interim indications we are getting in some areas, there's about 400 to 1,500% increase in production, in farmer numbers.
The PNG Cocoa Board support to farmers has been highly commended by the Agriculture Minister for maintaining the government's price support and intervention programs. Also, the partnerships with DDAs that is paving the way for more cocoa rehabilitation programs and education through extension work. With this momentum, the goal of 1.2 billion kina might be achieved in the near future.
It's a shared responsibility. All of us has to work together, and cocoa production has increased from 33,000 metric tons after it has been decimated by Cocoa Port Bora. It has now increased to 40 and it is now climbing up to 44 last year, 44,000 tons, and it is set to increase further.
Two very important factors in production that we have. One, we have land, and two, we have labor. This country can do more in agriculture. It just needs a bit more of government support. What the current government is doing under the leadership of the Prime Minister, Honorable James Marape, that's the best approach. We put some money into price support, and we put some money into the bank. And we are expecting the bank to step up and see who to assist and assist the farmers. Or the bank should work closely with our commodity boards like Cocoa Board. And Cocoa Board will identify the farmers and then they fund them.
And Chukai Sport is next. Details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The 2021 SP Sports Awards will be remembered for being the first virtual awards ceremony held in the country. With the ongoing health and safety protocols surrounding COVID-19, organisers had to compromise by hosting the event virtually. Living up to this year's theme, Excellence Through Adversity, this year's awards acknowledge the ongoing commitment and dedication of the country's sportsmen and women as they strive to do their best in their respective fields despite the challenges and setbacks posed by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The 2021 SP Sports Awards concluded last night as the ceremony had to make changes to its normal proceedings by hosting a virtual event. Given the extraordinary circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic, the organizers were keen to hold the ceremony while also following health and safety protocols. The virtual ceremony went off without a hitch, being live-streamed on MTV Online. But given the limited scope of the proceedings, some of the category winners were not present to receive their awards, but made their acceptance speeches via video. The biggest winners of the night was Cricket PNG, who walked away with 4 awards, with the PNG Barramundis winning the Team of the Year award, while cricketers Hila Vare received the Junior Male Athlete of the Year, while Barramundi Norman Vanua won the People's Choice Award. Former PNG Barramundis head coach Joseph Dawes received the Sports Official of the Year award, rounding off a successful night for Cricket PNG. The other big winners of the night included PNG Kumun and Melbourne Storm centre Justin Olam, who won the Male Athlete of the Year award, while PNG tennis ace Abigail Tere Apisa received the Female Athlete of the Year prize. Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
And then on Chukai Sports, the weather details after the break.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Sunny and windy in Port Moresby, fine though partly cloudy in Daru, Kerma and Alotau, and mostly fine weather in Popondetta. In the Momasa region, mostly cloudy with some showers in Ley and Wewak, mostly fine weather in Medang, some rain and thunderstorms in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine weather in Lorengau, cloudy with a shower or two in Kavieng, Kokoporabao, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, cloudy periods with brief showers in Mount Hagen, Mendi and Wabeg, and cloudy periods with rain drizzles in Goroka and Kundiawa. There is a renewal strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwa Islands and Kerma to Yule Island and Hood Point to Samari Islands and to Cape Vogel and all of Milne Bay Islands, including Finch Hafen to Vitias and Empire Straits to CRC and Long Islands and West New Britain, as well as southeast of Bismarck, Solomon and the Coral Seas. Strong southeast surges of 25 to 34 knots are expected to continue for the next 24 hours, causing rough seas. All small crafts and boats are advised to take necessary precautions before going out to sea, especially in the warning areas.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Sunday, the 30th of May, 2021. From all of us here at MTV, have a safe working week, pleasant viewing, and bye for now.